Boyfriend owes me money and I don't know how to handle it. Hi everyone. My 28 female boyfriend, 33 male, of 3 years lost his job during the pandemic. During this time I provided all of the food, takeout and groceries, and the entertainment, games, streaming services, etc. He was out of work, so I didn't ask for anything back, and he eventually covered 6 months of my electric, which wasn't close to the amount I had put in, but I viewed this as him attempting to make things equitable, so I was happy with it. During this time I was also responsible for most chores, cleaning, cooking, keeping track of groceries and things needed, keeping track of bills and taxes, etc. I was still working. When I mentioned that I was feeling overwhelmed and needed more help, he brought up the electric bill thing and made me feel like I was ungrateful for it. Flash forward to Sept. My boyfriend got a job that pays more per hour than mine does, but he works less hours. 3 times since September he has asked me to cover his rent, and several more times asked for money for expenses. With just this he owes me over $2,500. I make minimum wage. This is a complicated story. I basically took a pay cut to keep my business afloat during COVID and not have to lay anyone off. We have managed to add jobs since lockdown. He gets upset that I did this because I'm working a lot for little, and I do understand his frustration. But anyway, $2,500 is a lot to me, and I do a lot of side gigs etc. to keep my savings where I feel comfortable. Loaning him money has decimated my savings, and the fact that I still have savings at all is a sticking point, like I can afford to cover him. He always says he will pay me back, but when I ask for it he says he doesn't have it. He complains about me working so much but will take my money and turns down side gigs I find for him. We live together and I'm afraid if I don't spot him he will cause us to be evicted. I stopped paying my portion of electric to him, it's in his name. Once he crossed owing me $1,000, and we ended up with a notice that electric would be shut off cause he just didn't pay it. I had to set the account up for a payment plan. My question is, what should I do? I feel trapped. Any advice is appreciated. TLDR. Boyfriend owes me money and won't pay it back. You know what's worse than losing $2,500 to a partner? Losing $2,500 in years of your life where you deserved better but didn't leave. Seriously, what are you getting out of this relationship? He's getting money, someone who is compassionate and cares for him, someone building a better life long term through their work, someone cleaning up after him while he sits around all day, someone doing household management to keep the lights on and a roof over your heads. You're getting an adult child who clearly doesn't consider you at all or value you. He's using you as his financial safety net. It sounds like he's okay with this and won't change on his own. He needs to be fully responsible for his own finances without you, and likely the only way for that to happen is for one of you to move out. And you need to stop loaning him money. If you're able to, you should get your own place and leave him to deal with his bills himself. You're not married, so his financial problems are not yours to handle. He's 33 years old, so he's well aware of what he's doing, and he will continue taking advantage of you if you continue to allow it. During this time I was also responsible for most chores: cooking, cleaning, keeping track of groceries. Again I ask, is there a shortage of men? He takes advantage of you, triggers you and doesn't provide. Why are you together with him? He isn't planning on paying you back. Time for you to stop paying your share. Tell him. He needs to carry the load fully until that $2,500 is paid back. You carried him for years while he was unemployed. When everything gets shut off, move out. It is on him. Transfer all the utilities into his name. Text him so you have proof it was a loan. Leave him, he's manipulating you. Make a budget plan on Google Sheets. How much you make, your bills, etc. Work out how much he owes you exactly. And make him pay it back. Get him involved and help him make his own budget. Don't loan him any more money, focus on your debts if you have any. If he refuses to pay you or creates a feasible budget to do so, then you should leave because he's taking advantage of you. If you can legally, you should move out. I've been there before a couple times. They never paid me back. Think about it, if he is having to borrow money because he's coming up short every month, where is he gonna come up with extra money to pay you back? He either can't or he won't. I'd ask him to sign a loan agreement and payment plan. If he doesn't, then leave. If he signs and agrees, hold him to it. If he defaults, leave him. I mean, my dramatic answer would be to run. But also I don't feel like it's all that dramatic. He's a grown man but a child who is mooching off of you. Your boyfriend was unemployed but you did the cleaning and cooking and most chores. That does not sound equitable to me. Finances and chores are never 100% equal in any couple, but unless he has something else going on, if he's got a lot of free time on his hands, he can help out around the house. He doesn't sound like either a good roommate or a good financial partner. He's basically mooching off of you. That could maybe be okay if you were getting a lot of something else out of the relationship, but from what you posted it sounds pretty unfair. Internet hugs and external validation. He is willing to have the power shut off rather than pay a bill. He owes you $2,500 and complains that you work side jobs to support him. I am so sorry, but he is showing you that he can't be trusted. The money is lost unless you sue him. I would kick him out. If he had any integrity, he would do his best to pay you back, pay you before his needs and especially his wants. He would also help out with chores. His behavior is that of a selfish man baby and a user, which is ridiculous at age 33. I hope you can shame him into giving your money back, but you may need to consider it an expensive lesson. I respect your desire to get ahead with some savings. Don't give him any more money and try to get to a place where you can go it alone. You will be more successful. So seriously, what are you getting out of this relationship? And what is he bringing to it? This is only 3 years in. It sounds like you have a decision to make. If you're already covering his rent, tell him to leave. You'll spend less on food, and you can cancel some of the streaming, entertainment services. You'll also clean a lot less and feel less stressed, because you won't be taking care of a leeching user anymore. Think about yourself. He can figure his own shit out. This guy is an idiot. He makes more money yet has none. Tell him to pay you back, or you'll take him to small claims court. I recommend getting a text message to have evidence he owes you. Be specific. Say, hey, I lent you $2,500 for rent on X date. You said you'd pay it back. What time can I expect you to get me this? And #X200B. Also dump him. Women are not supposed to be taking care of men like this. You are his girlfriend, not his mother. That man is in his 30s and is showing you he is incapable of providing for himself. My goodness. He is using you. I did this when I was 20 and have still not financially recovered. Sad to see it happen to you. You need to cut this freeloader loose. He wants you to be his mom, not his girlfriend. Taking care of the finances, cooking, cleaning. Find someone who can be your equal and a partner to you. Otherwise all there will be left in the end is debt and resentment. It's possible he can rise to the occasion, but don't wait patiently for him to do so, especially when it doesn't seem like there is even a plan in place for this. Move out, draw and maintain financial boundaries with him and anyone else you are not married to. You should absolutely leave him, as quickly and safely as you can. Do you have friends or family that would let you crash for a week? Please tell them you need help untangling yourself from a financially abusive partner. Also, he will never go quietly. Whether you dump him now or in a test, when his financial hooks are 365 days deeper into your checking accounts, he's going to either love bomb you, I love you so much, I promise to change, or potentially become violent. Please be safe and do what's best for you. You're 28, you still have a shot at not having your life ruined. He's immature, irresponsible, and ungrateful. You've done more than enough for this guy. It's time you put yourself first and get away from that relationship. He needs to grow up and learn some financial responsibility and independence. I would definitely take him to court to get what's owed to you. You just need to establish that you've loaned him money, and he hasn't repaid his debt. OMG, please dump this loser. Show receipts. Don't just tell him what he owes you for. Tell him how many times he's chosen to do nothing about it. Just what he's refused to do, and over how long a period of time. If that's not enough to at least give him pause to reflect, hell, reach out to his family and friends to help confront him. Destroy him if you need to. Just completely emasculate this freeloader, dump him, and when you're done, take his ass to small claims court. He's a shitty person. But putting the obvious aside, can we talk about you? You cut down on pay so you wouldn't have to lay anyone off. There's not many people who are willing to do something like that, especially during a pandemic. You're amazing and deserve someone who isn't there to leech off of you. What a tremendous leech your boyfriend is. For a moment, picture what a relief it would be to be with someone who actually carried their own weight. Cut him loose and watch yourself thrive. Is he your boyfriend or are you his sugar mama because he doesn't act like a grown man? For me, this is a serious issue and I wouldn't feel like being with him. Stop helping him altogether. Any services you pay for, lock him out of them. When he can't make rent, that's his problem. He is not even young and dumb. He is just a user. I would leave him even if it means a $2,500 loss. I don't see him getting it together to ever pay you back. If anything, don't pay for the entertainment. Keeping track of bills and taxes, etc. Usually people with no money and no intention of paying people back don't find much use in keeping track of bills and taxes. You'd be in a much worse position if he was in charge of this stuff. We live together and I'm afraid if I don't spot him he will cause us to be evicted. Spotting him the money sounds like you are finding a way to pay for it basically all on your own. Why don't you just kick him out? I second people saying move out. It's not your responsibility to financially put a band-aid on his life. You have your own things going on and he's not being an equal partner by stepping up his game and paying back what he owes. I would also work out a payment plan with him so he can start paying it back little by little. If you have any proof that he owes you this money back and has indication he would pay it back, I would keep that in case it gets ugly and you have to take him to court. 1. This isn't healthy. 2. Never loan money unless you can afford for it not to be paid back. 3. Never pay someone else's portion of bills. I understand that pandemic shook up a lot of things for people, but where was his unemployment going to during that time? I don't know about other people, but when I was laid off in March of 2020 for 6 months I made bank on unemployment as we WSRE, getting an extra $600 a week. And now your boyfriend is back to work and makes more per hour than you do and still can't pay his bills. Everything about this smells fishy. You need to get angry, set your boundaries, and tell him to get his shit together or get out. I won't even get into the money thing. Leave this guy. My God. I wonder what is he doing, since he makes more, with his money that he is asking her for loans, I mean, TSK. Jesus Christ. Dump his ass. WTF. Why are you with this child? $2,500 is less than what you'll be paying in therapy if you stay. Why did he not get unemployment during the pandemic? If he lost his job as a result of COVID he would have qualified. I knew people getting as much as $1,800 per week, more than double what they would have made at their jobs, with the federal benefits on top of state. Are you sure he wasn't getting that and taking from you? The fact that he's working now and still coming up short is not a good sign. The money is going somewhere. Could be an addiction, a hidden life, etc. He's gaslighting you, turning his bad behaviors into making you feel bad. Big red flags. Don't put up with it. Honestly, I'd try living separately. Get your own place as soon as you can, or if possible, get him to move out so you have fewer bills and responsibilities, or you might be able to get a roommate if you need one. If you have a good relationship when you're not responsible for him, maybe you can continue to live separately and still maintain a relationship. The only out I can see is to get him off your list of bills, and responsibilities in general first. Then go from there. Maybe he'll begin to pay you back and maybe he won't. But you need to stop the bleeding first, in my opinion. You're better off with a roommate than a 33-year-old child boyfriend that can't manage his finances. Why are you dating this bum? You're never going to get your money back. If you can be okay with that and still date him, carry on. My roommate owes me a lot of money and my mom has owed me a ton of money for years. Unfortunately, when someone owes you, it doesn't matter who it is, 99% of the time you will never get it back. Got it in writing, and on proper promissory note, then take it to small claims court. Easy win. Get out and file in small claims court. Threaten to take him to court. Person shrugging, he's a leech. You should find a way to stop living with him and break up. Unless you want to spend the rest of your life having to manage all the finances. And everything else. For this guy. But consider the money he owes you gone. It's not coming back. Do not stay with him longer in some attempt to recoup it. Leave this guy. I don't know how else to say it. He reminds me of so many other shitty boyfriends. You're not married, and you're young. You deserve compensation for your unpaid physical and emotional labor. You need to say no and not give him 1 penny more. Alexa, play TLC Scrubs. Op. When my boyfriend and I Friday got together, I made more money than he did. I would treat him to things, but he would still always get me back. Now he makes almost 3 times as much as I make and he goes out of his way to treat me because I do the majority of the household maintenance. You shouldn't have to do everything. That's not fair to anyone. If he really cared about you, he wouldn't be constantly taking advantage of you. That's what this is.